Why communication is so important when you're working with a marketing agency and you're looking for a good partner to partner with long term. My name is Derek Schleeps. I'm the owner and founder of REI Inbound Citadel. And in this video, I basically just want to talk about why communication and setting good expectations is so important, how we kind of implement this in our business and in our systems. And just some considerations if you're looking to hire potentially an agency or work with somebody for inbound marketing for motivated sellers. This is just what we do and what I would say that you'd want to look for in whoever you decide to work with. So number one is that feedback consistently is kind of mandatory because no campaign that you're ever going to run or any algorithm is always going to stay the same. Things are constantly changing in the market and Google's algorithms and how a campaign performs, what keywords it tends to focus on, how search volume kind of, where the search volume is going to come from, and what your campaign algorithm chooses to push impressions towards at any given time, depending on how much level of control you have in there. So things are constantly changing. And what I make and what I put a big emphasis on when I'm working with clients is that I want to hear feedback from them on what is going on their end from the perspective of them working with and closing the leads, right? Because I set up the best system that I can. We have a whole system that we track how many leads are coming in, and in what stage of the pipeline and where they're coming from in the campaign and what the exact quality buckets they fall into, whether that's good quality or bad quality and why, so that I know at any time if they're keeping that updated. Exactly how many leads are in each problem area or how many are under contract or closing. And so we get an overall big picture and can at any time kind of narrow in on a specific point of it and really look for solutions that is going to fix that particular part of the lead flow. And in order for me to do that, I have to have feedback from my clients. And so I make it a big deal that we actually communicate on that and sit down and go over this together, especially at the beginning of the campaign where we're getting things started and getting things sorted. And we want you to be able to make informed decisions about your marketing as well. So if you don't understand something or you need it kind of like a better explanation, like your agency that you work with should be able to explain things to you and break things down for you so that you kind of fully understand the implications of how things work and what's going on, so that not only that you can trust them, but also that if you need that information to make a decision about where you're going to target and or how much you want to lean into qualifying versus maybe you want to make some sort of a change or whatever the situation is, that you can do that in an informed way. And so me personally, I will always either hop on calls with my clients or send Loom videos or descriptions or explanations and really try to break things down as much as I can in layman's terms, especially if my clients are not marketing experts and haven't been doing this for years already. And we want, also I want to treat your business as though it were my own. That's also very important. If I was basically, if I was in the position of looking for an agency, I would want there to be a high level of communication, and I would want to know that they care about my business and how things are going, and that they, and basically, in my opinion, one of the most important ways to actually do that is to communicate. If there's no communication, or if there's a breakdown in communication, that's going to be it's going to be a lot harder to do. Now, that being said, some clients, I just don't hear from them that much. And that's because things are going well. And that's just the way that they roll. That's just the way that they do things, is that once they have something in place, it's working for them. They don't need to kind of like micromanage it all the time. And I'm not saying that clients, like a lot of clients micromanage, but just as a form of expression, like some clients just don't want to be that involved in that process. But I would say during times when we are focusing on improving quality, it's really important to have that communication, whether or not that's the norm or not, right? Like, some clients, they want weekly reports. Some clients kind of check in quarterly. I've experienced like the full gamut of how often people want to communicate, and I'm adaptable to that. But in my opinion, more communication is usually better than less. And, if there are issues that come up, it's better that those are brought to the surface and communicated and sorted out rather than them kind of festering. Or, if you're working with an agency and they're not being very communicative and they're not explaining things and they're not giving you a plan for like, okay, this is what we're going to try and attempt and this is how we're going to resolve it, that's just going to create more issues down the road. There needs to be open communication where you can get the problem solved and you can adapt. And that's the thing, is like every agency needs to be able to adapt. If we're going to be managing ads and campaigns and stuff like this that are by nature dynamic, that's an extremely important part of making sure that things stay on track over the long term. It's one thing to get something started on the right foot, and I've had a lot of experiences with this and talking to other agency owners where things were great at the beginning, and then after a couple months, it completely kind of shut down, and they were, saying, "Hey, quality is dried up. Like, we're not getting any deals closed. Like, nothing's happening." Like, and they were trying to communicate with the agency, and the agency just wasn't able to solve the problem. You just don't want to be in that position. But this is just something that I take into consideration with my own clients. I want my clients to understand, like, these are the expectations. This is the path to get from A to B. And I always think that bringing more communication is always better than less, in my opinion. So that's what I would say on this topic. If you guys are interested in learning more about my philosophy behind this, I have a part of this dedicated to this on my site. If you look on there, or if you're always welcome to book a call and chat if this is something that you're considering looking into more. But hope you guys are having a great week. Consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this, and like the video if this was helpful. Leave a comment below as well if you guys ever want to see any specific type of content. I'm always happy to check the comments and see what you guys are thinking. So have a great week, and we'll see you guys in the next one.